Good afternoon. Now, we all have a pioneer in us. And today I'm going to take you on a date with your pioneering spirit. Because when you and I, when we were kids, we had this pioneering spirit. We were exploring, we had loads of ideas, and we were going for it fully, constantly. A beautiful example of this is my little girl, Filou, who is 3 years old. Last year, she had an idea and she wanted to learn how to jump. When you're 2 years old, those are the things that are exciting. And it took her 2 months of practicing hundreds of times on a daily basis. And every day she was working hard, even though people would say, it's too difficult, you cannot do it, you have tried enough times, she just kept on going. This is the pioneering spirit that all of us that we had in life. But then one day something changed. One day there was this little voice coming up to your mind that said, you need to act normal. You need to behave. And from that moment on, we started to kill our pioneering spirit. Now, today, still we are people, young in our spirit, and if we have the willingness to explore our potential, we will find that pioneering spirit somewhere. Now, today the story that I'm going to tell you, I'm going to connect it to the story of my mother, Angela Joana da Cruz, who was an immigrant, just like many people from Cabo Verde who went to Holland in this case. Now, how can you find that pioneering spirit? That is by challenging yourselves. And in the practice that I do, coaching and training, it's not about talking about, it's about doing. So in a moment, I'm going to challenge you. And in a moment, we're going to do a physical exercise of only 15 seconds. So don't worry, you don't need to go for the gym for this, 15 seconds, yeah? And if you have any physical limitation, please don't do it, but it's a simple thing. Because what are we going to do? We're going to do what my little Filou was practicing last year. So everybody, in a moment, we're going to jump, but you're going to jump on one leg and you're going to do it for 15 seconds. So follow my instructions in this. So everybody stand up. And now, for the people a little bit in the back, you need to spread a little bit, but now tell the people next to you, how many times do you think that you can jump on one leg? Do it now. Okay, cool. Don't start yet. Cool. And now, what we're going to do in a moment, I'm going to count from 1 till 3, then you're going to jump. And then when you jump, you're going to count. And I don't know about you, but when other people are counting out loud, I get messed up, so you count silently. Is everybody ready? Okay, let me start. 1, 2, 3, go! And stop. And now tell the people next to you, how many times did you think and how many times did you do? Do it now. Okay, thank you. Take your seats. Take your seats. Take your seats. And now a question. Who had less jumps than they expected? Less. Who had more than expected? So have a look around. Most people had more than they thought up front. So what does this mean? What can we learn from this simple exercise? Because life is not about jumping on one leg, but what can we learn? Now, many times we have an idea of the qualities that we have, And once we actually get into action, once we challenge ourselves, once we start exploring, we have far more potential in us than we are willing to admit. Now, let me take you on another one, because many times when there is an opportunity, when there's something that you really want, all these thoughts are popping up, just like you had as well. Because I said, we're going to do something, and I looked at some of you, and all these thoughts were popping up. You know, but what will other people think? And we're going to do this silly jumping. And what if something goes wrong? And what if I don't make it? But these are exactly the same thoughts that you have in life when you are on your ventures. When you want to achieve things, these thoughts will always pop up. But as you have seen, is once you get into action, once you are willing to go past those beliefs, those limiting beliefs, then actually you can do much more. And another thing is, how did that pioneering spirit, how did it start to diminish more and more, is that we start believing these stories. And these are stories that I hear here in Cape Verde as well. You know, but I don't have the money. I don't have the resources. We are on this small island. There is no mainland close by. I don't have the opportunity. And all of these, they make sure that you are stuck in your position instead of fully going for it. And by this, you killed your pioneering spirit. Now, let me check. How is this all connected to the story of my mother? Because back in 1974, she was here in Cabo Verde and she was facing a difficulty. She was facing a big question. What am I going to do with my life? Am I going to stay here in Cabo Verde with 4 kids, age 27? Or am I going to go with my brother, Alexandre da Cruz, will I go with him to the Netherlands? She was here in a difficult situation. My father, who has multiple wives, multiple kids, she was facing difficulties. And then the opportunity was there. But I don't know about you, but before I embark on such an important journey, I check Google. I do ChatGPT, give me some answers. Now, the year was 1974. Was there Google? Was there any chats? Nothing. That was just an idea. And she believed in the idea and she went on this journey. And now, exactly 50 years later, because of her brave decisions, I'm standing here. I'm standing here as a child of this beautiful country, Cabo Verde. When I got to Holland, it was not even in the maps. If I had to tell people where I'm from, I said, here in the water. And they said, but there's no country there. I said, but there is I was born there. I know that it's there. I got my MBA degree. I played professional soccer. I trained thousands of people, and I have my own company inspiring hundreds of people on a yearly basis. And that's all because of this pioneering spirit that my mother had. One of the things that occurred to me in the last years is that I've been seeing that that pioneering spirit of my mother started to diminish and to diminish. And I said, but what happened actually? Because when she left here, 74, she got to Holland, she started. It was a huge struggle. Of course, there were some family members, but a completely different culture, and she was working hard. Working hard, manual labor, to make enough money for her to save money to send back home, and to save money to get a house for us. And it took her 3.5 years to do this. I don't know if you have kids, but to leave your kids behind for 3.5 years, that is, I think, the biggest challenge that you can give me. And she did it. And the thing is that somewhere along the way, she started to forget the uniqueness of the achievements that she had in life. And since she means the world to me, and I can imagine that you have parents as well, that you see this happening, is there a way that we can support, that I can support my mother, that you can support your parents, that they will reconnect with this pioneering spirit? Because there were amazing people that did so much that we can hardly even put into words. Even more, what is important is that you will look for yourself as well. How can you connect to your pioneering spirit? Because once you connect to this, you get into action, life is so much more beautiful. In my profession, stories are great, but if you don't connect it to a system, then people get lost. So what I'm going to give you now is, as I said before, we're going to go on a date. So I'm going to show you my date model, which I have used, and I've trained thousands of people with this model for them to recover this pioneering spirit. If you don't have a method, if you don't use it, then your pioneering spirit might die, just like I've been seeing with so many old pioneers from Cabo Verde. So let's go on a date. Have you ever been on a date? Yeah, dates are nice, huh? Cool. So the first, because it's 4 letters, the first letter, the D, is of desire. If you don't have a desire in life, everything is hard, everything is difficult. Now, if I look at my mother, her desire to make a better future for her children, for herself and for her family was amazing. Because once you have an amazing desire, doesn't matter how big the challenge, you will find a way. You will find solutions. But also in life, I have many people who have a dream, who have desires, and then they're still sitting at home. So just a desire is not enough. So, which takes us to the second step. This is the attitude. You need to develop an attitude of excitement, of involvement, of action. And my mother, she was excited to go. Her attitude was, I'm going to make it. It doesn't matter how difficult it is. I'm going to find a way to support my children and to create a better future for them. Now, if you have an amazing attitude, the desire is there, but then you're on an island and you want to go to Europe. Can you transport yourself there? No, you need to have tools. You need to have tools. Now, in the story of my mother, the tools is simple. She needed a boat to get from Saint-Ouen to Saint Vicente, and then there was a plane. But of course, tools is money is a tool as well, because the ticket wasn't for free. Luckily, she had my uncle who had the funds to take her. But if you don't have the right attitude, you don't have a desire, it doesn't matter how much tools you have. But also for all of you here, if you have that desire and attitude, go and look for the tools. There's always a tool. There's always. And then the last point is about energy. Because you and I, we put energy in everything that we do. But if you put energy in things that you don't have a desire for, you get lost. You're tired, you get home, and everything is too much. But once you are focusing on your desire and you focus your energy in that direction, everything will be amazing. So my mother, her energy, she's 77 by now. For the people who know her, she's still dancing. She's still flying because she has this excitement around her, which is something that from a little girl she already had it. Because if you have the right desire, you can achieve everything in life. All the lessons from the date model, but also from my mother, I took into my life. As you heard before, what my results are, but right now the main focus that I have in using this model is with my children. And I'm inspiring them on a daily basis to look for their desires. What is it that they really want? And through this, they choose their own school. The two first ones, Senna and Avi, when they were 5 and 6, they chose their own school. Of course, we were there to support. Of course, we were there to guide them, but they are the one that chose the school. Avi, my second one, at a certain moment, she could skip a class, which many people say, wow, an amazing thing, but we left the choice to her because it's her life, and I want her to learn how to make her own choices. And then we go to the end of this talk, and I want to leave you with a couple of ideas. And I want to challenge you to explore your potential. I want you to look into your desires and to take it forward. Just like my mother did, if all of us take it forward, we can create a huge difference in life. First of all, first point in this is take the time to work on your date, on your desire especially. If you are thinking right now, I don't know if this is my desire or not, I can tell you it is not. Once you find your desire, it will strike you like lightning and you will know it. Second of all is, once you are clear on your desires, share your desire, especially with your kids. Fuel them with ideas, because this is what will ultimately shape their lives. Third point is, next time you have a date with your parents or your grandparents, if they're still alive, ask them about their desires. I do it once in a while when I have a conversation, and every time I am really wowed by the things that they were thinking when they were younger. So ask them about it, and also ask them, how did this influence their lives? How did those decisions make an impact on their lives? And also share with them what was the impact of their desire on your life. Because if I look at my mother, the choice that she made to go to the Netherlands in '74, this completely reshaped the course of my life. And last one is, you are all here together, so we are all together on a date. So today, but also when you have a date, a business date, a personal date, instead of asking all those formal questions, why don't you start by sharing your desire and then ask for the desire of the other person? And I can assure you the connection is made within seconds. So this is what I want to tell you. Thank you very much. Obrigada. Cabo Verde, obrigado, mãe. Thank you.